a son in high school. Did you ever, you and your wife have that discussion about him playing football?
Oh, we had that discussion from the time that we saw, remember, the Titans in the theater in 1999, and there's one of the scenes, and they accentuate the sound, and you just feel like you're living it. And Jill turned to me and said, Alex is never playing football. So, it's easy to keep a kid out of youth football, and my son didn't play youth football. Once it becomes part of their social reality and they're in middle school and high school, it becomes so much harder to nudge them away from it. And there's a certain point where you just have to make that judgment that you're going to let them do the thing that is going to help them socially, help them learn teamwork, help them learn commitment and sacrifice and discipline, and be ready to take steps if necessary if it appears that there's any type of injury. And Alex had a concussion last year, and all the right things were done. And but yeah, for a young kid, I really wouldn't do it. And I don't think the disappearance of Pop Warner football would affect high school, college, or pro football because those things are always going to be there.
Yeah, I think there will be attrition here with kids not playing, and they'll go to other sports. And you probably won't see this have an impact, a dramatic impact, for 15 years or so.
But the scholarships are always going to be there at the college level.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know if it'll always be there for all the schools because I think you're going to have superpowers, and then I wonder what you're going to have, with the rest of college football.
But from the standpoint of 32 NFL teams, I think there's always going to be a supply of athletes, even if they haven't been playing football since they were 9 years old. Maybe they just started playing in college. Maybe it's just a freakish athlete that you find who has been doing other things, but you have a spot for him at college or even at the NFL level. Maybe the NFL will start getting guys and more guys who have never played football before. But when it's time for adults to make the decision about what they're going to do with their lives and they see the money that's dangled, you're going to see guys who are willing to take that risk of playing football regardless of what their parents did or didn't allow them to do.
I don't know about the timing of this, but I saw this and I paused. McDonald's is launching the first NFL-themed Happy Meals. What do you think that's about?
Well, the NFL has an official beer, so anything that.
But this is towards kids. The beer is towards somebody who's 21 or older.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know what's in the Happy Meal. I mean, but whether it's alcohol, whether it's the obesity problem, I mean, there are a lot of things that the NFL will put its label on. That's why I thought it was so significant that the NFL has decided to dump Rydell and not license a helmet. The NFL doesn't want to be associated with a helmet, but the NFL will be associated with Happy Meals and beer.
Jonathan Martin shows up at the home office today. What's the commissioner asking him?
Well, it's not the commissioner. It's Ted Wells. This is the independent
so the commissioner's not involved. Okay. So
this is when Ted Wells finds out exactly what happened, and this is Jonathan Martin's opportunity to spill his guts and say what happened, who said it, all the stuff that an investigator's going to want to know to then go forward to try to figure out what the truth is. And he may never get to the point where he knows what the truth is, but today he'll know what Jonathan Martin contends.
Okay, why wouldn't the NFL let the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, talk to Jonathan Martin first? The NFL said, no, you can't talk to him until we've spoken to him first.
Because you don't want to do anything that could in any way, intentionally or otherwise, affect or undermine the investigation. You've asked for an independent investigator. That's what the Dolphins did. I want an independent investigation. Fine. You can't have it both ways. You can't meet with this guy and maybe in a subtle roundabout way get into shade his version of the events, or just, when you tell the same story multiple times, maybe it's different the second time. Maybe it's not as forceful the second time. I think it's better to back off, which the Dolphins did, and let the independent investigator do his investigation.
Richie Incognito. Now, has he filed an appeal of his suspension? What exactly is Incognito doing, and what's it going to mean for if he's suspended again?
He's exercising his rights under the labor deal to challenge the suspension. Now, no number of games was attached to this. It's an indefinite suspension. Yeah. It can be a maximum of 4 games. That means as of December 2, the Dolphins have to decide, do we keep him, do we get rid of him? What Incognito is trying to do now is expedite the process. He wants a hearing as soon as possible to force the Dolphins, ideally, to make a decision before December the 2nd. And it makes me wonder, and look, this is speculation, but it's not like these conversations don't happen. What he may have heard behind the scenes about who may want him, and the sooner he can get free from the Dolphins, the sooner he can play for someone else. I think that's why we're seeing the request for the expedited hearing. And it makes me wonder what's been going on the last 12 days, why an effort wasn't made to file the appeal of the suspension sooner to get this process rolling.
Did you see the play last night with Eric Walden, the linebacker of the Colts, and the tight end for the Titans, Delanie Walker?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, Walker's
Amazing.
helmet is off. These two go toe-to-toe. And then you have Walden headbutting Delanie Walker without a helmet on, and he doesn't get ejected.
Amazing he wasn't ejected. Even more amazing if he doesn't get suspended. Remember, back in the preseason, Antonio Smith of the Texans removed Richie Incognito's helmet and swung at him with it. And Smith got suspended for the rest of the preseason and I believe one regular season game. The NFL, if it's going to have any credibility when it protects guys' heads, you have to protect a bare head against getting hit with a helmet. And if Ndamukong Suh gets 2 games for that pro wrestling arm stomp from 2 years ago, how is it not 2 games to headbutt a guy who doesn't have a helmet on?
Good stuff, Mike. See you on Sunday.
All right, see you, pal.
All right, Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.